All right, thank you.
Oh, Rachel, how are things in the
Nice of you to
Bahamas?
call in from Hawaii, Rachel.
Yes, it's very relaxing here. The kids are doing great at homeschool. Working at home is awesome with kids.
Oh,
It's a
don't get
vacation
me
every
started.
day.
I'm hiding in my garage right now because it's the only quiet place.
I get it.
I wondered why you had a ladder.
Ladder behind, I'm in my garage. I got my heater going right above me. It's nice and toasty. The kids are inside running amok, and I'm hiding.
All right, are we all set, Jacob?
Yep, you guys are all set.
Okay, thank you. We will call to order the October meeting of the Commerce Township Parks and Recreation Committee. We'll start with roll call.
Garbett? Can you hear me?
Bob.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Cast,
Here.
Henderson,
Here.
Pesh,
Here.
Wickert,
Here.
Champagne,
Here.
and I heard you say Emily Bob will not be on tonight.
Yeah, he's excused.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do we have any communications for this month?
None.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of minutes,
So moved.
Second.
right? Motion by Garbett, second by Wickert to approve the minutes from September 28th, 2020. I think we do a roll call vote since we're online today.
Yes, thank you. Garbett,
Yes.
Wickert,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yep.
Pesh,
Yes.
Champagne,
Yes.
Cast.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimously.
All right, up next is public comments. And if there is anybody who is not on the agenda today who would like to make a comment, I believe you would probably be listening on the line. And Jacob can tell us what the key code is to dial in if you want to talk.
Yeah, we actually do have a couple people in the waiting room in the meeting right now. So if anyone would like to speak, it's *6 to unmute yourself, and then *9 to raise your hand if you would like to speak. And we have somebody with their hands. It's going to be 248-767-4240. Caller, if you could give us your name and address and then speak whenever you're ready. And there you go.
Oh, so 4240 can speak?
Yep, you're up.
Okay, because the recording was saying something. My name is Pam Jackson at 5736 Lancaster Lane, and I'm here tonight to hear the wondrous things that are taking place with our parks and recs. So I'm looking forward to this meeting this evening. Thank you.
Hi, Pam. It's Linda.
Oh, hi, Linda. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Pam. I hope you have a wonderful race and make it close.
Well, I'm getting a lot of miles in per day, so this is a good thing.
Good.
All right, thank you, Pam. Is there anybody else who would like to speak from the public? Jacob, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Figured that out. It's not bad. We have one more. It's 248-361-9408. Caller, just state your name and address before you speak. And you are on.
Good evening. This is Larry Gray as well. I'm joining to hear your conversation for Parks and Rec. Sorry, my address is 2115 Glen Iris Court. Look forward to hearing all the good things about the Parks and Rec department. Thank you.
Hey, Larry, it's Linda. Good luck in your race as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for joining, Larry. Anybody else on the phone? It's *6 and then *9 if you would like to speak.
I'm not seeing anybody else.
All right, thank you. Item 1 on our agenda is the League and Community Service Organization Report. Emily, do you have anybody in the agenda or who sent you something? Before we
Yeah,
go to the
so
comments?
Carrie, Horse Farm, she is on the line, but she did send me her update to read to you guys as well. So she says that we are preparing to do our winter schooling horse show series virtually to avoid having large groups of people together at the same time, as happens with a one-day show. We are also working to promote and grow our middle school equestrian team. New changes in the MIHA organization rules now allow 2 riders to share 1 horse, 1 experienced rider, and 1 walk trot level horse. The repairs to the foundation of the barn where the tree was growing into the foundation will begin this Thursday, according to Jay James. And she continues to work with Commerce Township's Horse Farm Subcommittee to put together a maintenance and repair plan moving forward. She is on the line if anybody has specific questions for Carrie. So that's all I got as far as anything more than what was already included in your packet. Josh included his in the packet, and so did CW3, which both of them are on this meeting. So if you have any specific questions for them, please feel free to ask them as well.
All right. Anybody else from any of our leagues and community service organizations that wants to speak aside? Okay, Tim.
Yeah, Tim Bailey, Interlakes Girls Softball. Just wanted to let everybody know we've got registration starting mid-November for next year. So we are planning a normal season next year at this point in time. So right now we're just looking at normality as much as we can. So we'll see what time brings us.
All right, anybody else?
We do have a caller who would like to speak. 4511. I'm going to unmute you right now. Just state your name and address, please. And you are
Yes, Dean Shantz, Friends of Buyers. I just, sorry, Emily, we couldn't get our report in this week. We were just really busy with the Boo Bash, but went off without a hitch, and we met our goal of 300 people, and we had lots and lots of good compliments. A lot of people that had never been to the park before said that they had a fantastic time in a safe way. We had sanitation stations and all that sort of thing, so everything went real well, and the weather was much better than last year, so that was another plus. We could have easily gotten 600 to 700 people under normal times, but everything went real well.
Very good.
Congratulations, you guys. You always do a great job. This is Linda.
Thank you.
I forgot to take myself off mute. Sorry. Anybody else?
I have no one in our lobby who would like to speak.
Okay. Item number 2 then is the Parks and Recreation Department report.
Okay, so the biggest thing for us is we've been working through the changes as we talked about last month with the different executive orders. Things are still changing rapidly, but we're doing the best we can to keep our heads wrapped around it. So as far as the senior center part of it goes, we are going to do, like, I'm going to call it a soft opening. We're not opening to the public. You have to be registered before you can come into the building. The door will remain locked with a one-way. You can go out, you can't come in. We're going to start with our yoga class and our Tai Chi class. We can social distance those classes. They will have to wear their masks throughout the class for the executive orders. And again, that will be only by registration. So only those that register will be allowed in the building. They'll be allowed to enter 15 minutes before the class. They're expected to leave 15 minutes after the class. And then we do have sanitizer that we will sanitize that room down with. The sanitizer has to sit on all surfaces for at least 10 minutes to work. We're trying to limit how much is going on in one room very closely to allow more than 10 minutes for that to sit. So we'll see how it goes with these two, and then we'll start looking at some of our other smaller activities like maybe our wood carving group or our knit and crochet where they can social distance and aren't touching the same things like card playing. We may look at potentially serving hot meals again to those who come on those days. But we're taking it easy, taking it one day at a time. That's going to start on November 9th. So we'll have the cleaning company come in the day after the election. They're going to do a full building clean, and then they'll be in every night. So right now we're doing Monday, Wednesdays. They'll be in Monday night, Wednesday night to do a sanitation of that room as well. As far as rentals go, we're still holding off on that because although the limit per square foot for capacity has been raised, the social distancing trumps the capacity. So even though for capacity, we could have up to 60 people in our large room, when you set it up for social distancing, you can only have 20. And we aren't going to be there to confirm that people are from the same household and such. So we felt that at this time for the township, it was safer to just hold off on opening up to rentals at this point in time. That's pretty well it.
All right, thanks, Emily. Up next is the Township Board report. Do you have anything from Bob?
There's a special meeting tomorrow night. I know they're going to be discussing the township budget. I don't have it right in front of me to know what else is on there, but nothing exciting. I mean, there's always something exciting, but nothing exciting that pertains to us.
All right, and go
Emily,
ahead.
I had a question.
Yeah.
How long are we going to be doing these Zoom meetings, do you think? Just for the foreseeable future, or?
I don't know. I know that we've asked numerous times about holding the parks meetings live, and it comes down to we could hold them live, but we want to keep things consistent across the board for all township board meetings so that residents don't get confused. So I would say that until the township board is able to hold their meetings live, that we will most likely be staying in this format.
Okay, thanks.
All right, up next is, that was Township Board report, the Park Liaison report, and we'll start in my top left, which is Tim.
No report.
All right, Barb.
I would say that Mark and his crew did a very nice job on fixing up the fishing deck, and that has been done. And he and I have spoken again about when most of the leaves are gone, about trimming some things. But right now, it's not easy to get into the park, so I haven't been in there in a while because they're working out on the street. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Linda?
Unless Josh has something to add to the park, it looked good to me last time I drove through last week. It looked like they were still playing ball over there, but I didn't see any problems. Josh, do you have anything to add?
No.
All right, Bill?
All right, was over at Bicentennial today, and Mark and I did the location of the damaged underground. So we got that mapped out, found out where the problem was. And Mark and I took a look at the tennis court area and noticed that there, in the past years, there hasn't been really any further degradation to that surface. The cracks are the same. There's no heaving. There's nothing significantly going on that's more damaging on that surface. So Mark and I were talking, and I also watched and looked at, Linda, that Clara Miller, they're playing a heck of a lot of that street hockey out there on that thing. Every day there's kids out there playing. And my thought was, why spend all the money on that surface to prepare it for a skateboard park at this time, that we can patch those cracks, resurface it for a reasonable amount of money, and make it tennis ball, map it for tennis, for pickleball. We could put 2 roller skating or roller ball hockey courts on there, and let's see how that goes. And then look down the road if we want to spend all the money on, you know, putting a total new surface down. But Mark, you were out there. I asked you about it, and I believe you stated that you hadn't seen a change since 2013.
Right, yeah, it's about the same. I mean, we have to take care of the weeds in there and the cracks, a couple times a year, but it hasn't changed, hasn't buckled. There's anything's lifted up too high. It can be repaired if that's the route you want to go.
And
there's no change for the last 7 years.
Yeah, so I mean, our whole information that we're getting, that nobody wants to guarantee a new surface for any expended time. Well, you know what? We can kind of dig out those cracks a little bit, hatch them and seal it. See what we get. We'll get some life out of it. See if the kids come out there and use it and play. If we can paint it for pickleball and or tennis. And we were talking, I'd say, so we go, say you can play pickleball on it Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and roller hockey Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, unless it's not being used, and put up a schedule, and let's see what happens. For a little bit of money, we're going to get those lights fixed. So we'll be back in business there and go from there.
Years ago, Bill, when we were changing our tennis courts over to pickleball courts, we tried to do a schedule, and believe me, nobody can follow a schedule. People were showing up. You got to call it something, in my opinion. You got to just say it's going to be pickleball, it's going to be rollerblade, it's going to be whatever. I know that a lot of our rollerbladers over there are Commerce Township people over at Clara Miller, and that's cool. I mean, it's anybody that wants to come, but Commerce is much bigger than Wolverine Lake, and so a lot of our players are coming from Wixom, and their skaters are coming from Wixom and Commerce, and it is really used for that.
Yeah, well, I also see a lot of kids on the wayside that aren't playing at that time because there's only so many can get out there and play a game. So they got to kind of wait, and it would be nice. I think that I think we can do that over spending all the money to resurface it. We can, and Mark kind of agreed with me. It looks like we get somebody out there to patch the cracks. And like I said, I've been watching it to see if there's any more upheaval, and I have not seen it degrade any more than it's been for the last years, besides the grass growing through the cracks. And we stop that, resurface it, or recoat it. I'm talking about some kind of paint. We could get away probably for under 10 grand and have that thing in ship shape. And other than that, the park looked in great shape, ready for its picnic tables and grills.
And gazebo.
Gazebo.
All right, thank you, Bill. Sarah?
Yeah. Okay, just making sure I'm not on mute. So first, I wasn't on the last meeting, but I want to say thank you and kudos to Mark and his crew for being able to find the graffiti artists that have been decorating Mill Race and kind of putting a kibosh on that. So just thanks again for that. My only concern that I want to bring up, and not necessarily that it's something that can be dealt with today, but the K&S Fuels, so it's the gas station that is across from Mill Race and adjacent to the duck farm, has a proposal to expand not their storefront that faces West Commerce Road, but moving backwards, moving back towards the neighborhood. And other than just a picture showing how far back they want to go and what on the public notice, there isn't really, we don't know what their ultimate goal there is. My concerns, among others, are, what is that going to do to the parks and traffic in that area? So I just wanted to put it out there and just,
Good.
make sure that everyone else was aware.
All right, thank you, Sarah. And I will go last with Dodge Park. Field 3 is awesome. We've had a few games. My family has had a few games on it, and it is really gorgeous, and I'm enjoying it a lot. One thing that I mentioned last meeting is like the little zip line thing in Scarlett's Park. The handle was off, and I had thought it was about to be replaced, but the last time we were there, it was still not on, and I was wondering if it got broken again or something else?
We're
happening?
waiting for the
Oh.
parts to come in, so they've been ordered.
Okay. And then another thing that I have noticed, especially actually mostly on Saturdays, right between like 12 and 2, the parking situation is starting to get out of hand with the soccer fields.
Absolutely.
The entire parking lot was full, and then the entire driveway in and out had cars parked on the side as well. And I know that that was something that was going to be kind of the phase 2 after the bathroom building got built out and we knew what kind of capacity we were expecting. And I know the Saturday afternoon is the surge capacity, but I think it was 2 weekends ago, it was pretty bad.
I was over there. I agree. You're right.
Okay. And
All over
Chris,
the grass, everywhere.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you've had that problem.
That's what I wanted to bring up. You already did it, obviously, but I'm guessing 10 to 15% of the existing spaces are taken up currently by like construction zone and construction equipment. So obviously that will improve a little bit. We're done on November the 14th, so that should put a halt to the traffic issue until sometime in April. And our board had a question for me to carry to you about what your rough timeline might be to re-evaluate parking. Thank you.
Well, I've got a question. Are there any signs that direct them to possibly park up in the library parking lot?
No.
Is that a possibility that
we have some who do, and we've sent emails. Part of the issue is, you know, the new field 3, the people who play on that field, they're probably not going to park in the library and walk all that way.
Well, helicopter them in. You know, it's ridiculous that they can't walk across the park.
I agree with you, Bill, completely. I agree.
To field 3 is a pretty long walk for some of the little kids.
Well, my dear, it's outside and it's a walk with your kids.
Well, the big kids I'm cool with, but like the little 3 and 4 and
Okay.
5-year-olds.
Well,
That's right.
I don't know if they're even on field 3 because I don't have any kids that young, but
So I know when the board was looking at this and we looked at parking got pulled, and it was looked to be future improvement if needed. We all knew that Scarlet was going to be a novelty. It's new, it's one of a kind. We have people coming in from all over. I think the idea was to give it a year, give it a full soccer season to actually be able to look and see the impact of it. Unfortunately, we haven't got that yet. So I'm going to say that for even for me to take it to the board, I would need a year, a full soccer season to be able to evaluate the parking situation, let the restroom open. The splash pad is not there now, so I think that's going to cut down on some of the traffic we thought we were going to see, but there's been talks of putting that in the future. So maybe we expand parking when that is done. But for me and for the conversations I've had with the board, I would say a complete year, a full soccer season to be able to reevaluate the parking situation before we invest that kind of money. I want to say it was like $700,000 just for the parking alone.
Put in a tram.
Thank you, Emily.
Chris, did the email go out to the JAGs or to all of CW3? I don't remember seeing it.
They were supposed to have sent it to the whole, like the entire registration list. But again, the rec kids, I think the expectation was the ones who would be playing on field 3 should get priority in the main lot as far as soccer players are concerned. So maybe they didn't. I'll follow up on that though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I guess I'll wait for that. So next would be item 5, the Village of Wolverine update.
Yeah, there's a few things going on there. The veterans, for those of you who haven't driven by the Veterans Memorial, they're putting in all this bricks and all the it just really looks good. It's starting to finally get done. And so anybody who wants to buy a brick for their veteran or their family, they're installing them. They're still taking orders for them. Our new village attorney or new village administrator starts on November 23rd. For those of you that didn't read the spinal column, his name's Dave Gillum. He is not only, he's a Commerce resident as well as a Village of Wolverine resident. He was the city attorney for Royal Oak for many years, and he became their interim manager, and basically is going to do 3 or 4 years or 5 years here as our administrator. After our last meeting, I spoke with the Parks and Recs department at the village, and they are thrilled to get together if we want to form a group about disc golf. They're happy to try to participate. They'd love the idea, at least having a couple holes possibly over that area. But you know, they'd be happy to participate in any discussion on disc golf. This new group of Parks and Recs over there really would love to have more joint ventures between Commerce and the village, such as what we were talking about with Bill, is, you know, trying to utilize all of our parks in a better way so that we're not necessarily duplicating efforts, but making it open and knowledgeable to people in both Commerce and Wolverine Lake that these things are existing. I think that many people still think that as much as we're separate entities, that we really aren't. We're joined by the hip by taxes and things like that. So I think it'd be a really great idea to start being more cohesive in our Parks and Recs department and sharing the news and sharing the dates of all these things so that more people become involved and make it worth our while to do all these projects.
Linda, I think if the two groups get together, we ought to remember that Joe Phipps remember he came to a lot of park meetings, and he's into the disc golf, and he has some ways to get some of the equipment for us. And so I hope no one will forget him when it's time to look at that.
Well, yeah, and I agree, Barbara. I think what we need to do is get a citizen, chair per se. A couple people off of Commerce, a couple people off of Village of Wolverine Lake to sit down and do a steering committee and see if it's viable.
One of the things that back when we brought on someone from Wolverine Lake, I think Tom Zoner was the one that instigated this. And I think, Tim, you remember, we were supposed to have a representative from our board be a liaison to your board, your Parks and Rec board, and that's vice versa, you from Wolverine Lake being on our township board, our parks board. So I guess we could see how you guys feel about that we do have that, so we can report back and forth and bring that information back and forth between the two Parks and Rec boards.
Yeah. At one point, for some reason, I was thinking they were originally, back when I first got, they were on the same night. And I don't think we are now. They were both on fourth Monday nights, which made it kind of hard for anybody to be at, either or. So I'll check into that too. But like I say, I as a Parks and Recs member, even when I was on Village Parks and Recs, I want to see citizen input, just not the Parks and Recs boards having to handle all this. If this is really something citizens want, they need to get involved.
Sure. I mean, we could have a citizen be that liaison between the two boards and give us a report every week at our meetings and vice versa at the Wolverine Lakes meetings.
Yeah, I mean, because I always think that's much more effective. The gentleman from Wolverine Lake that served on the Parks and Recs board that was bringing up disc golf's name was Armand Archambault, and his kids are now out of college. That's how long it's been. It's been at least
our normal procedure, Linda.
It's been at least 8 years, and he's not interested in sharing this anymore because it was a thing to do with his kids. So yes, so I will go back to Mark Giomini, who is the chair of Parks and Recs, and let's see if we can't pull a couple people together. And Barbara, do you still have this Joe Phipps number or anything? Do you know where he is?
Yes, and I think Emily does too.
I do.
Okay, Emily.
Here's a little history. Many, many years ago, we were moving to put in disc golf in Maple Glen. And the neighbors did not like that. They said, oh, those kids smoke. they drink, they wreck the parks, and it was eventually dropped. So we would have had it probably 20 years ago when that guy's kids were in school.
Well, we walked that back there, Barbara, even back behind the softball fields, remember, through the hills and dales back there to look at where we could put that.
Yeah, by the fire station, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fast we move on things.
And then we had Hickory Glen. We had some poles laid out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the gentleman that's coming in to be our administrator is from Royal Oak, and they have 3 disc golf courses, if I'm not mistaken, at least 2. Because when we were doing this back then, our president of our board and I and the treasurer went over and looked at it. So we may be able to get some input from him.
That'd be great.
How it worked, and if they really had issues with smokers and drinkers. I don't really think that that's an issue. It's a daytime activity, you know, I mean, but hey, people always complain when they live next to a park, so.
That's right. You know that.
So I'm done with my report.
Sorry, quick technology switch here. Next is the maintenance department report.
Okay, start off at Long Park. We did get that platform complete. They can, you don't have to step way up anymore to get on it. And I think you can get a wheelchair on there too, if they want to go that far. The large bridge, we're going to start working on that after next week, after the elections. Few things have to be repaired, and then we're going to clean up the graffiti on that. And the short, like Bill said, we found a possible cause for the lights not working in the pavilion and the 2 lights around the tennis courts right now. So hopefully we get that fixed and get it running, have lights on all the time. Graffiti at Mill Race, yay. Don't have to do that every week. Glad to see that stop. Scarlett's Playground, during the week it's getting better. Weekends, we come in on Monday. It's a pretty good mess, but the rest of the week we're pretty good. Maple Glen concessions are closed. We winterized all the water lines, all that, and we put gutter guards on the gutters there. That's it.
Good.
All right, thank you. Next is Bicentennial Park.
Okay, I put this on here as just a lump part because we had several topics that we were discussing, and we actually covered a lot with the tennis courts. And I'm actually going to touch base on what Linda said. And Linda said it referring to Hickory Glen, but I think it also fits with Bicentennial Park. So we have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of things that we think we need to put into that park. I think we need to do some kind of community survey when it comes to that park and see what the community wants to be put in that park before we put investment in there. And I'm not referring to the baseball diamond that obviously needs, it's there. We need to maintain it. We need to bring it back to life. It's one of the only baseball diamonds that people can go to and freely use without checking schedules with the leagues. So that I know is still on Mark's radar, and Bill's working with Mark Russo as well, so we can get that taken care of. But as far as that space for the tennis courts, I think we need to survey the community. Let's see what they want, and that if that is,
We're just talking the neighborhood, aren't we?
yes, yeah, that local neighborhood there. If that is sending a letter to those residents, directing them online to take a survey. The only thing that we have to go on right now is what our master plan says. So that's, you know, and everybody knows when we do our master plan, we have the select few that have a want that year that shows up to go through the master planning process with us. And that's what shows face in the master plan. But that doesn't always mean that that's what the users of that park want. So I think we need to take it upon ourselves to reach out to those users. Let's see what they want so we meet their needs. You know, we don't have all the money in the world. We're working with millage money. We want to make an impact, but we want to make sure it's the right impact for the current park users. So
Well, it changed, Emily, tremendously with that new subdivision that's attached to it. And
right.
Even when I went over the day, Mark and I were standing there looking at the fence towards the new development back there. The park is so wide open and it's changed so tremendously. It looks so much better than it has in years and years. And I think reaching out to those people, and who knows what kind of donations we can get out of that too.
Right. And so that's my goal is over this next 30 to 60 days, 90 days, depending on how fast we can get it out, but to get feedback from the actual park users. Again, not talking about the baseball diamond. I think everybody here agrees. And I mean, for the 15 years I've been here, the feedback has been, we need to keep that baseball diamond there. So that needs to facelift. But as far as the rest of the park and how it's used, let's get the community input. We can amend our master plan if we're going after grant funding. Let's make sure that we're spending our money wisely and making the right impact in that park. And let's make sure that we're not attracting the wrong people for that park. You know, I mean, sometimes we want an activity in a park and we have lots of parkland, but maybe Bicentennial isn't the correct park. Maybe Wise Road is the correct park. Let's see what the users are actually looking to have. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to work on so that we can put together a spring project.
Good.
If everybody here sounds like they're good with it, then we'll know exactly where we're sitting with the Richardson Center. If we're going to move forward with putting in the tennis courts and the pickleball courts over there, then we don't have to worry about scheduling conflicts. There's just a lot of moving parts right now. So that's my update on that. Is it's a work in progress and we're going to keep moving forward.
I'm happy with that.
All right, thanks, Emily. Item 8 is dumpsters in the parks.
So Bob actually asked me to put this on. So I'm going to try to capture what his intent was behind this. I know that when we had the discussions about the garbage cans in the parks, and the question came up, do we want to have dumpsters? I don't feel that we need dumpsters in all of our parks. The cans work just fine, but I know that he was looking at Dodge Park and with Scarlet Smile and now having the restroom facility and the daily emails and the daily calls that we receive of people wanting to have birthday parties and such over there, maybe having a dumpster will help Mark out if they have somewhere to put the trash other than the trash cans. It's just going to overflow. So we wanted to have that discussion on this level, see if that's an expense you guys want to look into. I think it would fit there personally. So just let me know your thoughts.
If Mark need it, I think we need it, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people there all the time, and every time I'm there in the middle of the day, there's someone having a party.
Mm-hmm.
Would that help you out, Mark, if there was a dumpster right there, at least, you know, even for cleanup purposes?
Yeah, I think it'll help, especially because a lot of times those cans are so full of stuff, you know, and just be able to empty some of the cans in there until the pickup day. That it wouldn't be a problem to have. It would help us out, I think, a little bit.
Okay. So we'll move forward on getting at least a price for that park.
Next is the bleacher pads, item 9.
So this is on here as a placeholder. I know Mark did meet with one company and did get a price. We are waiting to hear back from a couple companies, and Josh actually has a contact for the company too. So we're still moving forward on getting all the pricing together for that.
All right, thank you. Item 10 is the 2021 concert in the park.
So I don't have a lot of an update on this because until the township budget's approved, I don't like to reach out to JAG Entertainment to schedule things. But our intent is to still move forward with 6 concerts next year, just as it's a normal year, $2,000 a concert. I know Allison was reaching out to some of the food vendors to see if they're still in business, if they're still interested in coming, if we can have that. And then just to kind of touch base on that with the M5K, we're still planning on that next year, going to move forward with that as it's going to be a normal year and we're going to be allowed to have it. We're looking at a date in October for that. And on that same day, we were looking at having some type of harvest festival at the Richardson Center. So we'll bring more details to you guys on that.
That would be really fun. Item 11 is update on Hickory Glen and Richardson Center concept plans.
So the Richardson Center concept plan is almost ready to send out to you guys for review. And then we're going to do the same thing with this as I was talking about doing with Bicentennial, to get the public feedback on it. So like a survey type, online survey type thing. Hickory Glen is near completion. They're just working on getting cost estimates. Once we get that back, then we will sit down with Lakes Athletics, the Mountain Bike Association, and Hawks, and let them view it, make sure we captured any concerns in these specific areas that we were trying to address. And then we will bring it to the parks for your guys' approval.
Right, item 12 is the 2021 meeting schedule.
It's all in our packet.
Right, I'm sharing it for those who don't have it handy.
Do we need to approve that then, Emily?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see any conflicts on it for me.
I'll make a motion that we approve the calendar for the Parks and Rec meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Right, motion by Wickert, second by Petch to approve the 2021 meeting. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is Linda. December 27th. Don't we usually?
We
Is that
do.
a good date for everybody?
No, that one will get moved. I just noticed it too.
Yeah.
You know what though? We can approve it like this. We can change the date next year. Typically we cancel our December meeting anyways, so let's leave it the fourth Monday of the month for now. And we can address it next year as needed.
Right, thanks, Emily. Oh, wait, now we need to do a roll call vote.
Got it. Wickert,
Yes.
Pesh,
Yes.
Champagne,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Garbutt,
Yes.
Cast.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item 13 is 2021 officers.
Let me chime in on this one here. I preceded you, didn't I, Rachel?
Yes.
Okay, and this is, Rachel, you've been through 2 years, correct?
This for second.
This
Yeah,
is the end of the term, correct? And then Tim, when's the last time you were behind me, correct?
I was in front of you. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to nominate Tim Wickert as the chairperson for 2021.
As long as I have some help working on this high-tech stuff, I'm willing to do it. But I'm not as good as Rachel when it comes to that.
Does Rachel not want to do it?
Normally what we do is after 2 years, we do find another chairperson and kind of roll through the different chairs, the different things. Unless, Barbara, unless you're up to it.
I might not hear as well as I should, so I'll pass. Thank you.
Sarah or Linda, are you interested at all?
Pardon me?
I asked if Sarah or Linda were interested at all.
It's very possible that I will be moving next spring, so.
So you're a no.
I'm still getting my footing, so
We'll leave Sarah at secretary. We can continue that, correct? Would you continue with that, Sarah?
yes, that sounds wonderful.
All right.
All right,
we
well,
need a vice.
I'll run. Are we going to vote next month or are we?
Well, we need a vice chair.
Well, let's put Rachel there in case Tim can't make a meeting.
I can do that.
That'd
All
be
right.
good.
It's up to you guys if you want to vote on it tonight or if you want to wait till next month. I always put it on the month before we actually need it because sometimes we have discussions.
Well,
So
we're all here and it seems like everybody's kind of decided that's a cool way to go. So why don't we just vote on it?
that's fine.
Tim,
I move that we accept the people who have been nominated. Tim for the chairperson, Rachel for the assistant, and Sarah as the secretary.
I'll second that. This is Linda.
All right, motion by Garbutt, second by Champagne to have chairs be Tim as chair, Rachel as assistant chair, and Sarah as secretary. Any further discussion? All right, we will do a roll call vote for that.
Garbutt,
Yes?
Champagne,
Yes.
Pesh,
Yes.
Wickert,
Yes,
Henderson,
Yes.
Cast.
Yes.
Thank you.
this starts in
Motion
January.
carries.
correct?
January.
All right, item 13 is agenda requests.
Do we need to put like possibly, disc golf or something somewhere in here?
Yeah,
If we
I can add that to the list since we're gonna,
I
yep,
don't know if we'll be ready to rock and roll with it, but we might want to put it in there just in case we can get some people showing up
we'll
for
put
it.
it together on a placeholder. Yeah, and we can reach out to Joe as well.
Yeah, good
Okay.
idea.
All right, anybody else? All right, item 14, any other matters? No, you guys were like ahead of schedule today. All right.
We all
Make
set
a
for a motion
motion.
to adjourn?
Can we make a motion to adjourn?
All right, motion by Champagne, second by Petch to adjourn. Any discussion? Roll call?
Champagne,
Yes.
Pesh,
Yes.
Garbutt,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Wickert,
Yes?
Cast.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, motion carries, meeting adjourned. We'll see everybody next month.
All right.
Happy Halloween.
So long.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.